Hello and welcome to the opening bell. My name is Isaac, and in this video we'll recap the stock market week of April 17th to April 21st, 2023, and let's get started. I am using the TD Bank Stock Market Simulator. We will start with Marriott. I own 28 shares in Marriott, and I paid for it at a price of $169.33, and its last price before the closing bell on April 21st was $174.41. I have a profit of $142.14 on Marriott overall since I first bought it, and Marriott has been a really good stock in the last week and has had a major profit compared to previous weeks, and so a really good week this week for Marriott. Here's the chart for Marriott. It starts the week a little less than $170, and then from then it is going to take a sideways note on Monday. And then on Tuesday, April 18th, which was tax day this week, it is going to take a really good profitable jump and will continue that sideways note all the way until Friday, April 21st, where it will end the week at $174.41. So a really good profitable week for Marriott overall with a huge jump on tax day on April 18th. So a really good week overall for Marriott. The next stock that I am going to talk about is Disney. I own 130 shares of Disney, and I paid for it a price of $106.14, and its last price before the closing bell on April 21st was $99.57. I have a loss of $853.63 on Disney, so it is overall my worst stock. However, it has gone up since previous weeks. However, Disney has not performed since I first bought it, and it's not my best stock in total. Here's the chart for Disney. As we can see, it starts the week a little bit in between $100 and $99, and from then it is going to take a sideways, a little profitable note. And then on April 19th, it is going to take a really bad plummet all the way down, a really bad plummet all the way down to around little in between $90 and $99, and from then it's going to take a little sideways note, and it will take a profit to end the week at $99.57, so kind of around where it started similarly. So not that bad of a week for Disney, however not that good of a week as well. The next stock that I'm going to talk about is Microsoft. I own 30 shares of Microsoft, and I paid for it at a price of $283.13, and its last price was $285.76, and I have a profit of $78.90 on Marriott, and it is one of my best stocks that I own, and it has gone up since I first bought it, and is one of my 4 tech stocks I own, with the others being Apple, Nvidia, and Google, and Alphabet. And Microsoft has just been a really good stock since I first bought it overall, so a really good stock for Microsoft, and a little sideways week this week for Microsoft, and we're going to talk about that in the charts. Here's the chart for Microsoft. As we can see, it starts the week a little bit more than $290, and from then on straight away it's going to take a plummet, a dip, and then it's going to climb up out of that dip on April 17th, and on April 18th from then it is going to take a downwards slope, and we'll continue that sideways and downwards note all the way until April 19th, where on April 19th it is going to take a big surge back, and then from then it is going to take a sideways note, and on April 20th to April 21st is going to take a really bad plummet and a sideways note to end the week a little bit below $286. So an overall loss in value from the beginning of the week to the end of the week for Microsoft, so not that good of a stock this week, with plummets midweek but also surges midweek. However, overall not a pretty bad week for Microsoft. The second tech stock that I own, and the best stock I own overall, is Apple. I own 20 shares of Apple, and I paid for it a price of $147.80, and its last price was $165.02. I have a profit of $344.40 on Apple, and it is one of my best stocks. In fact, it is my best stock that I own, with a huge profit since I first bought it, as of course I paid for it at $147, and its last price was $165, so a huge profit for Apple overall, and I'm happy that it has gone up since I first bought it, in being my best stock that I own. Here's the chart for Apple. As we can see, it starts the week a little bit around $165, and then it's going to take a huge surge on April 18th, which was tax day. And on April 18th, it is going to take a huge surge and continue that surge all the way until we get to around April 19th towards April 20th at this point. And then on April 21st, it is going to take a huge plummet and a huge drop dip in stock market earnings and values. And it is going to end the week on a sideways note. We'll end the week at around $165. So kind of like a mountain with a surge at the beginning of the week, but a plummet to end the week. So not that good of a week for Apple, however, not that bad of a week either for Apple. The next stock that I'm going to talk about is NVIDIA. I own 20 shares of NVIDIA, and I paid for it at a price of $272.36, and its last price was $271.19. I have a loss of $23.40 on NVIDIA, and it is one of my bad stocks I own. It is one of the 2 stocks I own that I have a loss in since I first bought it, and it is one of my 4 tech stocks. It is the worst of my 4 tech stocks I own, the others being Microsoft, Apple, and Alphabet, and it has not done good since I first bought it. However, a pretty good week this week for NVIDIA, as it has gone down way more last week. It has gone up this week a little bit, however, still in the red. So a pretty good week this week for NVIDIA, and we're going to talk about that in the charts. Here's the chart for NVIDIA. As we can see, it starts the week a little bit in between $265 and $270. And from then on April 18th, it's going to take a huge, almost a straight line surge. And it's going to take a huge surge up, and we'll continue that steady pace all the way until we get to around Wednesday and Thursday and Friday-ish time. And then it's going to take a little plummet dip, and we'll end the week on a sideways note at $271.19. And NVIDIA had a pretty good week this week. It started the week in between $270 and $265, and we'll end the week at $271.19. So a profit this week, however, not that big of a profit this week, as the surge to start the week and the plummet to end the week for NVIDIA. So a pretty sideways week for NVIDIA. The last and final stock that I'm going to talk about is Alphabet. I own 15 shares of Alphabet, and I paid for it at a price of $100.48. And I have the last price of $105.41 with a profit of $73.95 on Alphabet. And it has been one of the good stocks that I own with a really good profit overall. So pretty good profit this week for Alphabet. Here's the chart for Alphabet, which owns Google. It starts the week a little bit less than $105, and it is going to take a little surge up there. And on April 18th, it is going to take a downwards dip all the way to get to April 19th. It will have a low at a little bit more than $103, and from then it's going to take a huge surge all the way up until we get to with a high of around a little more than $106 placed on April 18th and April 20th. And then from then, it's going to take a sideways note to end the week a little bit more than $105. So an overall profitable week for Google with fluctuating prices overall. So a pretty sideways week overall for Google with a tiny bit of profit. Your story of the week part 1 is in green this week. We are going to talk about 3 stocks that I own that have followed similar charts this week: Marriott, Apple, and NVIDIA. This one is Marriott, this one is Apple, and this chart is NVIDIA. They've all had a surge this week on stock price, with a huge surge this week on April 18th. And as we know, that April 18th is tax day, and all these stocks have gone up on tax day this year that these charts show. And with a huge surge on tax day for Marriott, huge surge on tax day for Apple, and huge surge for tax day on tax day for NVIDIA. So these stocks obviously performed very well on tax. They did benefit them this year. So I predict that other stocks would have gone up on tax this year throughout the entire stock market, saying that the day does bring dramatic changes to the stock market. Your story of the week part 2 this week is in red this week. We are going to talk about 2 stocks I own that have followed similar charts this week: Disney and Alphabet. and Alphabet does own Google. Opposite of Marriott, Apple, and Nvidia, these stocks have shown negative stock prices this week on tax day, with this one being Disney and a bad downward plummet and really bad plummet for Disney on April 19th actually, so probably the day after April 18th tax day. April 18th may have caused a huge plummet, and on the day afterwards for Disney, and it caused a huge plummet in stock price for Disney, probably based off tax day, even though it didn't occur on tax day. And then Alphabet, this one is Alphabet. And for Alphabet, on April 18th, tax day, it is going to have a peak stock price a little more than $106, and then it is going to start the plummet and the huge dip all the way to a low at a little bit more than $103. So a huge dip for Alphabet this week, so not that good this week for Alphabet. So all these stocks have gone down on tax day this year. So I predict that with the last three stocks I talked about that positive stock value, that these stocks did also have negative stock value, and some stocks that in the New York Stock Exchange could have also experienced negative stock value, such like these stocks have performed. However, tax day does also badly affect the United States New York Stock Exchange stock market, since tax day does affect it really badly, as with dramatic changes in the stock market. Of course, we have capital gains, dividends getting paid off as we're in quarterly earning reports, and people might pull out of their stocks and might not pull out of their stocks. Of course, history has shown that stocks usually do go down on the first 2 weeks of April prior to tax day, and on after tax day, history has also shown and research has shown that stocks will go up after tax day. So we hope that these two stocks do start surging up. As we can see on Disney, it starts surging up. However, on Alphabet, it stays pretty sideways this week. So we hope that these two stocks continue to surge upward to begin next week and to end the trading quarter. Of course, we are in earnings season, so just be on watch for quarterly earning reports for stocks that you own. Major and dramatic changes could happen with quarterly earning reports, so just be careful and aware of your stock trading. Thank you for watching this recap of the stock market week of April 17th through April 21st, 2023. I hope you enjoyed this recap. I will continue posting stock market recaps weekly. Thanks.